How many here like nice cars? Anybody here like nice cars? I love cars. I love cars. Okay? Really love cars. So it used to be the amount of deduction we got for a car was like tiny. So nobody really cared too much about it. But what happened is, with this new law, is if you buy an SUV or a truck that's over 6,000 pounds, as long as it's used 100% for business, you get to deduct 100% of the cost, even if the bank financed 100% of the cost. So you put zero down on a $60,000 truck, and you get a $60,000 deduction. How many think that's awesome? But only if it's 100% business. Now the question is, what's business? Use of a car, right? How do I know it's business? The number one thing that you can do to increase the business use of your car is to have a home office. It's the number one thing you can do. Let me ask you a question. Anybody here, just by show of hands, ever been told not to take a deduction? Raise your hand. By a tax preparer, tax advisor, anybody else, you're told not to take a deduction? Raise your hand. Okay? Wow, not very many. How many for you was that the home office? Right? And here's why. Because 25 years ago, it was a red flag. 25 years ago, it was a red flag. And here's what happens in my profession. This is why we created this network. Here's what happens in my profession. The young people come in, and who trains them? The old guys. And the old guys were trained by older guys. So there's this institutional memory of home office is bad. Home office has not been bad since 1996. The law completely changed in 1997. Here's the other question. If they told you not to take it, they said it's a red flag because you might get audited. What does that tell you about your tax preparer? Who are they afraid of? They're afraid of the IRS. But let's think about this. You come out of school from a good school, and you're an accounting major, and you decide, I'm going to go get a job. And you go, well, let's see. I could go get a job where people love me, and I'm always the hero. That would be like a CPA firm, right? Or I could get a job where every one of my clients hates the ground I walk on. Every one of my clients can't stand to see me. They never want to talk to me. Seriously, worse than being a proctologist. That's an IRS agent. They have a tough job. But guess what? Typically, not the top of their class. So if you're a CPA or your tax preparer is afraid of the IRS, who's a C student, just think about that. So here's why home office is so important. Your first trip of the day is a non-deductible commute, even if you're going to go see a client or your real estate. Your last trip home from a client or real estate or an office is a non-deductible commute. The IRS says, it's in there, by the way, it's in their instructions if you look it up. If you have a home office and you go to your home office every morning and you come back to your home office and you do work in your home office before you go and you do work at your home office when you come back, guess how long your commute is? 30 feet. For most of you, that would convert your automobile expense. It would double how much you get to deduct because the first trip and that last trip is so big. On top of that, you can have two offices. You can have an office where you meet with clients and an office where you do your administrative work at home. So you don't have to just have one office. Okay? Now, that's vehicles. So